Scales of a surgeon. In the hushed corridors of St. Jude's Children's Hospital, where the air was thick with the scent of antiseptic mingled with quiet hopes, Dr. Alex Freeman was a burst of unexpected laughter. As a pediatric surgeon, his presence was like a ray of sunshine in the often somber environment. His scrubs, festooned with cartoon characters, and his stethoscope, which he called Mr. Whiskers, rarely failed to draw a smile from his young patients. Alex had grown up as the only child of two renowned surgeons. From a young age, he was steeped in an atmosphere of high expectations and professional rigor. But unlike his parents, Alex had taken a different path by choosing pediatrics, where he could blend his medical skills with his love for playful interaction. It was just another busy Wednesday, and Alex was using his sock puppet anesthesia technique to ease a nervous 8-year-old into surgery. Laughter bubbled up from the child, momentarily lightening the weight of the upcoming procedure. Alex's methods might have raised eyebrows among the more traditional staff, but no one could argue with his results. Children adored him, and parents trusted him. However, as the laughter died down and the child was wheeled into surgery, Alex's phone vibrated sharply against his hip. It was Marissa, his fiancée, her text a simple yet urgent summon: "We need to talk tonight." Dinner. The message unsettled him. Their recent conversations had hovered around the theme of their future, often touching on deeper, more serious commitments like marriage and children. Alex sensed that Marissa's patience for his playful demeanor might be waning. That evening, under the dim light of their favorite Italian restaurant, the conversation quickly deepened beyond the casual exchange of daily anecdotes. Marissa's expression was serious, her hands folded tightly on the table. "Alex, I love you, and I love your joyous spirit. It's what drew me to you. But sometimes, I feel like I'm the only adult in our relationship," Marissa began, her voice a mix of affection and frustration. "I need more from you, especially now that we're talking about building a life together. I need to know you can be serious when it matters." Marissa's words struck a chord in Alex, echoing the unspoken concerns of his colleagues and even his parents. Determined to prove his capability to adapt, Alex decided to undertake a drastic transformation. The very next day, he swapped his cartoon scrubs for stark white ones, and Mr. Whiskers was left at home. At the hospital, his demeanor became somber, his jokes ceased, and his smiles became rare. The change was immediate and jarring. The hospital, once a place where soft chuckles lightened the sterile air, now seemed more forbidding. Colleagues whispered their concerns, missing the warmth Alex had brought into their daily routines. Patients and parents, accustomed to his comforting antics, felt the cold professionalism that had taken their place. Even Marissa, who had initiated this change, found herself missing the Alex she had fallen in love with. She hadn't imagined her request would strip away the essence of the man she cherished. As the weeks unfolded, the impact of Alex's new persona became increasingly apparent. A particularly heart-wrenching moment came when a small boy, previously brightened by Alex's puppet shows, returned for a follow-up visit. The child looked around, visibly disheartened, whispering to his mother, "Where did the funny doctor go?" Hearing this, Alex's heart sank. That evening, as he stood looking out over the city from his apartment, the magnitude of what he had lost overwhelmed him. The laughter, the smiles, the connection, it had all been replaced by a sterile professionalism that alienated those he cared for most. Tears blurred his vision, a rare occurrence for someone who had always used humor to shield his emotions. He realized that in his effort to prove his seriousness, he had lost himself. It was a revelation that stung with a mix of regret and clarity. The next day, Alex returned to the hospital, his traditional cartoon scrubs back in place, Mr. Whiskers, proudly draped around his neck. He approached his young patients with a renewed sense of purpose, blending his professional expertise with the heartfelt warmth that had always defined him. That night, Alex and Marissa met again for dinner, this time in a quiet corner of a small cafe. Alex shared his revelations, his voice thick with emotion. "I lost myself trying to be someone I thought you wanted," he admitted. "But I've realized that I can be both, the caring, fun-loving doctor and the serious partner you need." Marissa reached across the table, her eyes glistening with tears, squeezing his hand. "I never wanted you to change who you are at your core, Alex," Marissa continued, her voice steadying with resolve. "I just wanted to know that we could face the serious parts of life together too." Alex nodded, the weight of her words sinking in. I understand now. It's about balance, not just in the operating room but in our lives together. I promise to be there for you, fully, in every moment, joyous or grave. Their conversation flowed into the night, a mix of tears and laughter, as they began to mend the fabric of their relationship. They discussed their future with a newfound maturity, planning not only for their wedding but also for the challenges and triumphs that would follow. Alex realized that his ability to make people smile, which he had always seen as his greatest strength, did not preclude him from being a strong, dependable partner. Instead, it was part of what made him uniquely suited to handle life's complexities. Back at the hospital, Alex's return to his original, spirited self was met with relief and joy. Parents smiled as they watched the transformation in their children's spirits before and after seeing Dr. Freeman. Colleagues expressed their appreciation for his renewed vibrancy, which had always made the grueling days a bit easier to bear. As weeks turned into months, Alex found the balance he had struggled with. He learned when to inject humor and when to withdraw it, crafting an approach that respected the gravity of his work while also embracing the therapeutic power of laughter. He was becoming adept at reading rooms, understanding when his lightheartedness would heal and when silence offered greater solace. One day, a particularly challenging case arrived, a young girl with a rare and serious condition that required delicate surgery. Alex prepared meticulously, his demeanor blending his newfound understanding of when to be playful and when to be solemn. Throughout the surgery, he was a pillar of focus, but post-operation, he was back by her side with Mr. Whiskers, making her laugh despite the pain. The surgery was a success, and as the little girl's parents tearfully thanked him, Alex realized how far he had come. He was no longer just the funny doctor, or the overly serious surgeon. He was a blend of both, a physician who could bring light into the darkest moments without losing sight of the seriousness of his responsibility. That evening, as Alex and Marissa walked hand in hand along the river, reflecting on the journey they had taken together, they felt a profound sense of peace. The city lights danced on the water's surface, mirroring the light in their hearts. "Thank you for helping me find my way," Alex said, his voice soft with gratitude. Marissa squeezed his hand, her smile radiant. "We found it together," she replied. As they stood watching the river flow steadily past, like the inevitable passage of time, they understood that life was not about avoiding the serious or the playful but embracing both. It was a lesson in love, in medicine, and in life itself, balanced beautifully between laughter and tears.